My wristwatch is broken, my shoes are untied. Time is a-ticking, and so is the tide.
Bread making, for me, is a day-long process. I have to start by removing the sourdough starter from the fridge before my morning tea so that it has time to reach room temperature. From here, I can collect the discard and feed it. After it's ripe, I'll make the dough, wait for it to rise, usually twice, and then bake. Bread making becomes a structure of my day from beginning to end. I enjoy this because it gives me intervals within which to work. Between setting the starter out and feeding the starter, I can pray, stretch, and walk the puppy. As the starter ripens, I can work in my studio or prepare my day. This week, I was able to start working just as the perfect morning light entered my studio. I make bread multiple times a week as I find it grounds me, in much the same way weaving does. It doesn't escape me that both of these skills are predominantly seen as women's work. And while I don't believe it is exclusively feminine to weave or bake, I still enjoy being connected to the women who came before me. I see these crafts in my mother, my grandmother, and the generations before them. I imagine Mary, the mother of Christ, sitting at a loom to make garments for her family. In all of these women, I see the gift of self, that is, the self-sacrifice of love. Back in art school, I designed a series of weavings around Odysseus' wife, Penelope. The series is based on the concept of weaving, waiting, and loving. Inspired by the Odyssey and Penelope's incredible grace and endurance in the loss and eventual recovery of her husband, Odysseus, I set out to explore the modern and historical expression of waiting for the one you love and the extent to which we will set ourselves aside and sacrifice for another. In a bizarre flash of insight while reading the story of Penelope, I was overcome by her extreme sacrifice for Odysseus and how it reflected Christ's words, "Greater love has no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." As the story goes, Penelope stayed in Ithaca with Telemachus, their son, awaiting Odysseus' return for 20 years. Upon his apparent death, she began to be plagued by suitors wishing to take the place of her husband. Hoping to delay their desires, Penelope promised she would choose a new husband as soon as she finished the tapestry she was weaving. She wove the tapestry every day, but every night she stayed up and unwove what progress she had made. By unweaving, she was able to wait the 20 years for Odysseus' return, but she sacrificed what little power she had as a woman in ancient Greece, the power to create. This gift, as well as her undying loyalty to her wedding vows, is the purest form of love, infinite, endless, rich, passionate, and sacrificial. The title of this series, Love is Patient, are the first words in a particularly famous Bible passage, 1 Corinthians 13, which describes what true and absolute love looks like. Love is patient, love is kind, it is not pompous, it is not conceited, etc. This series is an exploration and a continued development in my own understanding of patience and virtue, waiting and trial, love and charity.
Stars been aligned and my goose hanging high. I'll be okay in the sweet by and by. I was born at morning on the first day of June, 1900 and something and two. My mom was a sweetheart, my father was too. They left me a watch and an old pair of shoes. I guess I've been lucky to some degree, for someone who ate all the fruit from the tree. Stars been aligned and my goose hanging high. I'll be okay in the sweet by and by. I'll be okay in the sweet by and by.
In order to hang my weavings, I enlisted my husband in helping me create rug hangers, as well as using more traditional dowel rods. My husband is more experienced in the realm of woodworking, and they're his tools, so I was excited to try something I was unable to do while in art school. It took some brainstorming, a massive amount of measuring, and a few trips to Home Depot, but we were able to make a nice test piece, which now hangs in my studio.
Showed me your affection, but I was looking for perfection. So I moved on and on and on to someone new, as if no one knew what I was going through. I know you think I'm just pretending, and that I can't rewrite the ending.
I also added the dowel rods to my sunshine weavings and put them on my Etsy for purchase. You can read more about the inspiration behind these in their listings. There's a link in my bio.
Sure that if I just kept moving on and on and on to someone new, I would have never understood that I had you who gave it all. You're not just a flavor of the day.
My wristwatch is broken, my shoes are untied. Time is a-ticking, and so is the tide. But I am not worried, things are what they are. Come rain or come shine or a shooting star. I've been to the south, I've been to the north, east and the west, the middle of course. I may have been astray, but I've never been lost, never been beat by the road I've crossed.
This weaving is the final piece in my original series of 3. This weaving was woven, dyed, and unwoven, rewoven, dyed, and unwoven, and then a third time woven, dyed, and unwoven. I wove it one final time using all of the same yarn and adding in additional yarns and lace elements to create what you see before you. This is the end of the Odyssey, when Odysseus leaves again, a day after finally finding home, and the reader never learns if he returns. This is Penelope sitting at her loom once more, alone once more, after 20 years of waiting. Here she sits, having given everything, and she continues to give everything once again. This is the ultimate sacrifice of love, not only for her beloved, but for a stranger, and a betrayer, and an absent husband. Agape is a sacrificial love of laying down your life for another. Bread making, to me, is a little gift of time to whomever I'm feeding. It's an opportunity to do something not heroic or great as Odysseus, but to do, as Mother Teresa says, small things with great love. Art and weaving allow me to explore my philosophical, theological, creative, and curious thoughts. This is why my art is best explained in conjunction with days spent baking bread, reading novels, and enjoying the rain. My weavings have never simply been something beautiful to look at. Every one of my weavings means something to me, created from a piece of something I hold near and dear. I guess that's why art, to me, has always been a story.